Oh, I need to put my pillow down. Da, 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 da. Hey guys. All right. Give me a second. I'm sitting down. Okay, and it is a little different. It's a little more echoey over here. I need to find a way to make it not so echoey. Okay. Here we go. All right. And there's like a big shadow. Maybe I should pull this out a little more. That might be better. I don't know. Okay, just like, I don't know. Like that? I don't know. Woo! Morning. Oh, that's so fucking bright. Hold on. That's in my eyeball. It's in my eyeball. Oh, that's the only thing about where I live is there's no overhead lights. And so you have to use lamps. Like this thing was built in the 90s, and that was the in thing in the 90s was to just have all the mood lighting and no real overhead lighting. So all the switches go to freaking NASA outlets and shit. I'm like, what the? There's only overhead lighting in the bathrooms and in the kitchen and in the hallway, the stairwell. But like every room, like living room, all that kind of shit, I don't know. So I'm doing good. When I tell you I am feeling it this morning, I'm feeling it. Like it's a good energy. And I was like, trying to figure out, just tapping into the energies and stuff like that. And like, I'm doing my whole little thing and talking to spirit and like, I am in motion. If I am channeling, like when I'm here, the cards help me to focus. If you watch Tyler Henry, that medium that does things for celebrities and stuff like that, like he does scribbling and that helps him to focus. If I don't have this, you'll see me either handling a crystal because that helps me to like pull the energies in, or I'll pace, I move. So when I'm getting ready, a lot of times I'm not just sitting here, like I have to be moving, like shit starts coming. So I'll be making this drink and all kinds of stuff will be happening, right? And so today it was like, I just felt the urge. Like I started singing a song that I love over and over and over again. It's by the Dixie Cups, not the Dixie Chicks, Dixie Cups. And it's Iko. Amazing song, but there's also a version that's done by, was it NASA? Or was it the name of the album? NASA's the group, NASA or whatever. They have like, there's a million versions of this song. Like everybody has like done their version of it. And so like there's one with Lizzo, and I'm like, let me just tell you, like that is, I fucking love that song. Most versions of it. And so I was like, I'm gonna play it. Like I realized it was going for a reason. So like, let me see what happens, right? Oh my God, they're so annoying. And so like, for me, like I was singing it, and when I tell you I cannot hear it and not jam to it and not dance, like I dance. I'm dancing. I don't care what I look like. I'm dancing, right, to it. And I was like, golly, this was like, I remember the phase that I was going through. At first, I kept hearing, hey now. And so I thought like spirit was trying to get somebody's attention. So I put that as the title. So I'm in there and I'm jamming, I'm doing my thing. And I realized I start to go down this whole rabbit hole. And I'm like, you know what? The last time that I really thoroughly enjoyed this, like it was like it was like one major one in my playlist when shit was going good. When I went through my healing journey and I had things started picking up and doing well. And I started being able to integrate things and walk the talk. And it was like, I was manifesting and I was making shit happen. Like that's when just before, this is important. I'm channeling. Just before I went to Italy and like shit was just happening. I was making it fucking happen. And then roughly 3 years ago, things, shit hit the fan. And it started with my father. Well, it started before that. I had we started having multiple deaths in our family. We had altogether in a span of like 13, 14 months, 4 males pass away in my family. And all the feminines are sitting around going, and my dad was the next one, right? And we were like, oh my gosh. And so yeah, we were, it was one of those things where it was like, and so then my father started getting exceptionally ill, right? That was that time frame. And so 2020, right? So it's 2023. I'm about to hit the 3-year mark. In astrology, this has been a massive something for a lot of people, and it has showed up in all kinds of ways. And it was the ending of a lot of cycles, but it was an exceptionally difficult energetic time frame, specifically 3 years. And so I had been going through healing and, my evolutionary process long before that. But it was like, it was starting to manifest in my world. But there were still some things that needed to be taken out. And it was really about closing off old cycles and all kinds of stuff. So things started happening and it got so fucking difficult. I started having health issues because of, that felt very related to what my father, my mom had health issues. It was like this compounding effect, right? And then he passed, and then we had to sell the house. And it was like, and then I spent the last year just like purging, feeling like I was put on pause, and it was pissing me off because I was ready to pick up where I left off. I was like, no, that shit was going good. And all of a sudden, my world kind of like went away. And I was doing my best. I was trying to like keep the momentum going, and things were still going to happen. And I had realized eventually at some point, shit got put on hold. There were some things that had to be taken care of, doors that needed to be closed, and cycles needed to be stopped. And I didn't like it, right? And so I haven't jammed to that song like I did. Aiko, Aiko. Aiko, Aiko, I. I'm not very good at singing, so don't fucking say shit to me, okay? But I was like, it felt so good. The fact that I searched it out. It's been a fucking hot minute since I've searched it out to play it. And I was like, oh my God. And I literally heard picking up where you left off. And I was like, because I was feeling as good in there in the kitchen, dancing to that shit and jamming to it, and just, the rush of just like life was good, like shit was good. It reminded me, it was like I was being transported to that time frame just before life happened. And it's like, I feel like the last 3 years were a bubble, like something, a lot of shit, a lot of transition, a lot of purging happened. And so I feel like I'm back where, like we're all trying to get back to that good feeling, that space where we're like, shit was happening for us. We were making shit happen. We were manifesting, things were moving. And then something hit a pause button, and holy fuck. Okay. And we've all been very irritated about being in that, because we're like, okay, now I'm ready to move on. But as we've talked, we know that we didn't do a very good job of getting rid of that longing feeling, like our attachment to always feeling like we're longing for something. So were we really ever ready? I don't know. So you'll notice that I changed the title to Picking Up Where You Left Off, because that's what it feels like. Like the energy today. First off, I took a shower, did my hair, and all kinds of stuff. Aren't you proud of me? Like, it's been a hot minute since I did that for y'all, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's just, I feel, even though my world isn't looking as promising, the way that my human would say, as it did. It's so funny because the pandemic really happened in 2020 also, but I mark that, the things not going so well in my life, with what was going on with my father. Like, shit just went completely blah, blah. And it had started before. My father's illness and stuff like that was going on, even when shit was going great for me. And like I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I fucking did it. I'm gonna do this. It was like, and these were like big fucking goals that I had never done before. Like, I hadn't traveled out of my country as an adult. So, I have a birth certificate where I was born abroad, but like as an adult, no. So, when I can tap into the same energy where it's like, it's as if I was on a timeline and something picked me up and put me over here, and now they've picked me up and put me back on that timeline right where I was, right in the moment, right where it's like, because I knew I was making shit fucking happen and I knew shit was going to get good. That's also around the time frame that I had started this fucking channel and shit was going good, but then my dad got sick and taking care of him took a toll on my health, and I started having symptoms that were similar to like some of his ailments, and I felt like I was taking on too much energy and I couldn't do the channeling. So I think we're all about to pick up where we left off. And that's what the message is going to be about. I'm just going to say, because that shit felt so good. I was like, I cannot wait to get off of here and dance again. Like, I have attempted to dance in my room. Now that's the way, like when I tell you I've got to move this body in order to be able to for Kundalini to really be flowing through me freely. Like that's how I address stagnant energy. That's how I also can feel where things are stuck in my body. Because when it hurts when I'm moving, or when something feels a little off, like it tells me something. It's also when I feel like my true self, like my natural self. I've had moments where I'll dance, but it's like I'm the kind of person that I'm dancing up and down the aisles in Walmart because of whatever stupid song is on. I am in my kitchen every single morning dancing with my coffee. Like I would need time alone. Like that time before the kids got up was me with music on and like just feeling it. Cleaning, music going. I'm like it's been paused for quite some time. Last time that happened was during my soul death. So dancing for me is a major indicator of things. Like, and I ain't saying I am like, whatever with dancing. I'm not saying that. Might look like an injured injured deer or something like that. I probably look really stupid. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. But it just felt exceptionally good. And I was so excited to come in here. So if you can look up that song, go jam to it sometime today. All right. But I think that has every fucking thing to do with because I've been wanting to get back there. I've been wanting to get back to that energy, to that trajectory. And I felt like I had been detoured, sidelined, whatever. So let's see. Let's see what comes through in the messages. Okay. We'll start with our illustrious divine doors. Oh, thank you, David. That was really nice of you. Is it? I don't know. I think I've heard that one. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm blurry. I'm just gonna lift this up a little bit because where it chops off my head, it's making me blurry. Also, I've got like this house. I know has got to have mold in it. Like it's triggered. I have all the stuff of having like a overloaded system of mold. So I need to go to a functional medicine doctor so they can do some testing. Because the only time I pack it on right here is when my system is overloaded with that kind of stuff. It's happened before. So, and the funny thing is, like, as much as I feel like I've gained, I would think that the number on the scale would be higher. And it's not. So that tells me a shit ton of inflammation. And I've been there, done that before. So I've had to really change up my diet. I'm doing my body works best. I don't know why I'm going into this, but my nose is itching as I'm doing it. And I'm going, am I channeling right now? So apparently I'm meant to say something like this. And it may play in as a factor in, sometimes I talk shit in the beginning and it factors in later. Who knows? But like the what is it called? The type of fasting where you don't have any solids until like noon, like intermittent fasting. Thank you. I don't know who said that. Somebody said that. I could tell. And so, like, my body does exceptionally good on that. And when I have my juices and all kinds of stuff, like, my body is like the bomb. And it also helps me get rid of that stuff. And so I'm recalibrating. And y'all know that I already told you on my period, I decided I was going to also start my cleanse and stuff. And so then my face broke out with all kinds of shit. It was lovely. So it's such a smart time to start, right? With hormones and everything. So I'm getting shit back on track. And I wanted to for several months, and I was like, I really got to do something to make me feel better, and I just couldn't. And I don't know if being in this energy, like if they're talking like I'm picking back up where I left off, like doing, because the old me would have never thought to veer from the intermittent fasting and things like that. Like I knew what my body needed, right? So anywho. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see where this goes, guys. Oh, okay. Palmistry. This is the way it came out, so this is what we're looking for, guys, okay? Fortune and Tarot, collective destiny. Collective destiny. The reason I'm talking about this stuff, I told you all, it has something to do with, I think we're all about to pick up where we left off. When shit was going good and we thought shit was about to happen roughly 2 to 3 years ago, and it didn't just the pause button got hit, we're picking up where we left off. I fucking know it. This is a collective energy. This is, I feel like I'm going to get included a bit in this because I'm definitely experiencing it. And right out the gate, I could already feel how it would, you know what I mean? Like apply in my life. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting excited about this. The palm lines from birth tell your sacred palmistry. Listen to the notes of your intuition. That's what it says down here. So fortune telling, tarot, divination, all forms of a collective destiny, right? Listen to the notes of your intuition. So we're talking about a collective energy pushing us in the right direction. And in order to be able to benefit from this, we need to be listening to our intuition right now. Divine guardian. Uh-oh. Sometimes this reminds me of when Spirit's got a plan and you're like, oh, yeah. It's that meme I have on my Instagram where it's like they're on the roller coaster and one says, like the guard, your spirit guide is like, I've got plans for you. And you're like, oh, fucking no, and like you're losing your shit. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Do not be nervous today or tonight. The path you are on will lead you just right. I have a feeling that someone is following their intuition about something, feels good about it, and that little voice in the head just wants to chime in, like those random thoughts, those intrusive thoughts that just kind of go through and you have to ignore because you're like, I'm not about to shove anybody's head through a brick wall. I don't know why I thought that. That's not me. Right? Like, like the shit that you're like, what the fuck was that? Your brain just does stuff. You got to treat some of the things that it's going to be saying to you as that, okay? Like, you need to look at it like, that ain't even remotely true. You need to have as much faith about the not pushing somebody's head through a brick wall as you do about some of the shit that it's going to try to say, because I feel like it's going to elicit or pull up some like I'm not really sure. Maybe not. Da 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 da. Kind of thing. Like it's gonna doubt that you're picking up where you left off. Okay. Okay. And then we have a stranger's grace. And this is the one I was like, ego fears. Well, no shit. I didn't even think about it. Ego fears the sudden danger. So as you're being put back on the correct path, or as you're picking up right where you fucking left off, your ego, again, it's going to chime in. You're going to feel nervous. It's going to start saying stuff, and they're like, please just know that you're on the right path. Follow your intuition. Keep going. I think that your ego is going to try to say, last time we believed X, Y, and Z, last time we started walking this path, the shit show of the last 3 years happened. Like nothing that we did allowed that to come to pass. What we were attempting before. And so your ego is going to be like, it's not in the plan. It's not in the game. It's, it's just going to happen again. Like, when are you going to fucking learn? And I feel like whatever happened when you've been on pause hasn't really got anything to do with whether or not that path is for you or if it's going to be successful. Has everything to do with closing out one door and getting rid of the shit, purging you like a motherfucker. It's like the world's worst stomach virus. The kind where you've been puking for almost 48 hours and you're like, what gives? Like you're dry heaving so much. Not even any juices coming out. Like, I swear to God, nothing either way. But your body keeps acting like it needs to. And you're like, there's nothing left. What the fuck? Nothing left, okay? And so that's really what it was. It was the world's worst purge. And you're out of that now. So, but your ego's like, bitch, I'm not so sure. So you're going to hear things. But what you need to do is not listen to what the ego is fearing, okay? Because it's going to assume that if you try this again, because you're picking up where you left off, if you try this again, shit's going to hit the fan again. And do you remember the last 3 years? Did you fucking like it? I swear, there's going to be a part of you that's like, yeah, no. I already tried that. You may even feel like you don't know if you actually want it anymore. And that was kind of like that song yesterday, where it was like, I don't even know if I want this anymore. The name of that song is called Chronically Cautious, and it just got released yesterday out onto the streaming platforms by Braden Bales. So Chronically Cautious. I think there's something in the entire song, but that one thing where it was like, if I'm completely honest, I don't really know how much I want this kind of thing. And so it's one of those things where it's like, how like when The Boy Who Cried Wolf, you're just like, you could become desensitized to it. And so you don't know how to tap back into that passion like it once was. And I think that's the trick here, is that you're about to be transported back into that energy. You're going to feel that again, suddenly out of nowhere. And your ego's going to be like, this is a trick, bitch. This is a trick. You better not. Like, you best be watching it. I don't think this is really for you. Like, that's the devil trying to get you right there. That's the kind of, like that's my Southern aunt type of, energy right there. Impersonation. Anywho, don't trust it, because it says, never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. Are we talking about the person we talked about yesterday? Like, there's something coming in that I think there's a person attached to, or a person is bringing it in? Is this connected, Spirit? Let me pull one more of these. The synchronicities. I swear to fucking God. A stranger's grace. Never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. Strange. Something unfamiliar. Something unknown. something that doesn't necessarily have a connection to you right now. Jude's song, it says, I shit you not, a reminder for even the most hopeless of lost cases. You can find peace within the strangest of places. So you're going to get back into the energy of like the intensity of the optimism and the and like feeling shit's better than what maybe your ego says exists outside of you, but you're about to pick up where you left off. That means that energy, that momentum, that I've got this, the level of in the groove that you fucking had where you thought shit was popping off and then it got paused, you're going right back to that energy and all. It's going to trigger your ego. Your ego's going to be like, we've done this shit before. Let me give you the example of the last 3 fucking years, okay? Shall we revisit that? Through the Rolodex to try and tell you all the damn stories that happened like you didn't fucking live it or something. Okay? Well, let's relive it. But for whatever reason, you can't let go of being back in that energy. Uh-oh. It's overshadowing that little voice. You know he's going to kick up a little bit more, right? That motherfucker ego is going to kick, oh, bitch, you want to ignore me, huh? You think this energy is louder than me? It might try to kick up. It might. But I get this feeling like you're going to treat it like one of those intrusive thoughts that you're actually not connecting to your ego energetically. So therefore, at a soul level, you don't feel like that's not the fucking truth. You know it. Kind of like I know that I ain't going to shove somebody's head through a brick wall. Even though my brain sometimes wants to convince me that that would really feel good. And I'm like, I ain't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And on here, it's like, what you just don't realize is it's like your ego is associating getting back into that and being back on track and on that path of what is in alignment with you, what feels right and good and like gets your soul going and stuff. Like it interprets it as danger, but you're going to encounter. It's going to get, your ego is going to try to convince you it's hopeless, basically, is what it is, right? It's going to try. It does not feel like it's going to succeed. And Spirit's just like, I work in the most strange and unusual ways. Like, don't underestimate me. Don't underestimate just how this could happen. I'm going to focus on this one in the whole idea and notion of something happening in a very strange way, in a strange circumstance, or you finding that success in a strange place. I'm curious. Oh. Okay. Again? Madame adores fortune telling cards. Where are we at, peeps? Right, David? I'm just saying. It's amazing that we are just getting started and it's been 30 minutes. Like, so much comes through with my channelings, and I just wish I could be faster at delivering the messages. Because I always look at them like, golly, most people don't want to sit around for hours. I used to be really good at that. I hope this whole getting back into the energy thing Hey, Mira. Welcome. Anywho, I hope it does, because these have gotten time consuming. I'm just saying. But the draw to do them, and like the inkling and the little niggle where it's like you really gotta go. You need to do this. I'm like, okay. I was really gonna try not to do this today and go to take care of some other things, and it was pretty loud. And it felt pertinent, not important, but pertinent that I did this. So it's like, okay. And let's see what they're gonna say. Stranger in strange places. They're gonna echo something. Follow your intuition, not your ego. Okay, it literally says follow your intuition. Your intuition will guide you through darkness, because I assume that your ego is going to try to fight this. And that's the darkness that it's talking about. It's uncharted territory. The last time you attempted this, life went weird, right? Shit happened. And you were treading water for so long. So it makes sense. It's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, seriously. Okay, you will be guided through darkness. Be meticulous and patient, almost as if they're saying each step will be revealed, and you're just going to have to focus on that step and not what the next 3 or 10 are. Your emotions will be at a peak, meaning that, you know how, like I said, I got back into that energy, and I was so, here's the thing. Your ego is going to use that as leverage to argue its point, okay? Because here you are back into that energy, right? And yet again, shit didn't happen immediately, right? I feel like somehow the emotion of it, like you've been trying to get back into the feeling of, like, there's been a period of time you were going through the motions, you were fighting to get back there, and then you hit this place where you're like, I don't even know if I want it anymore. I don't feel invigorated, passionate about it. I don't feel drawn to it. I don't feel like, now I just feel like, I feel like my intuition's saying this, but like it, it's that whole thing where faith becomes a burden. And so it's like, it wasn't as powerful as it once was. And so when it returns, when you get put back into the energy of, and the energy is felt in your body, and in your emotions, in your heart center, right? Like it's like almost like a heart awakening. That emotion is going to be the trigger, and your ego is going to try to use the fact how much this ignites you, right? How much you are overcome with because passion is also an emotion, right? Like it's the expression of your emotions. It is like, and when I did the reading for just a couple days ago, and I did a reading for Jao from and I told him, I said, your intuition, like he was, the reading was that he was really needing to take a risk, and that he's doing everything mentally right now because he was so emotionally invested in his goals before. Amazing how this is playing in right now. I hope he joins. How his emotions were so invested that when things didn't go exactly quite right, he took it personally. Like he took it like it hit him emotionally. And so he decided to take his emotions out of the business. And he's been doing and operating and making moves strictly from his mental realm. And they're like, your mental realm is going to fail you soon because an opportunity is going to come up. And it's going to be a fuck yes. It's that reading, the fuck yes. It's going to be a fuck yes, but you won't feel the fuck yes because you've been closed off emotionally to this. And they made me use the Tarot Sexual Magic for his reading. And it had something like, this is really playing into this. So I'm going to use his reading as an example since it was on here. And so it was really like, like he didn't realize that closing off his heart was keeping him from fully understanding and experiencing his intuition. Like for it to have that resounding overarching, louder sound than his own mind and ego that would try to do the pros and cons and overanalyze and make decisions based upon that. He would miss his opportunity if he stayed strictly in his mental realm. He needed to open up his heart. Now that's going to be difficult for him because his mind's going to remind him of why he shouldn't trust that. Because the last time he delved into something that he had his whole heart in, and I think that's what this is, it hurt to be sidelined. It hurt to be sidetracked. We took it personal. Like it was saying something, like it wasn't for us, or that what we do isn't good enough to get us there, or that we did something, what did I do wrong, kind of thing. And that didn't have anything to do with it. It didn't have anything to do with it. It was, this is necessary to get you there. And we may have elongated the process more than we needed to. Okay. Because remember, we're talking about, this is definitely a collective energy. This is going to apply to a lot of people. I'll try to help you understand how it could. And so it's like, there's when the emotion hits and it's like, and you feel really powerful about it again, that's going to chime in. It's going to try and convince you that you can't trust your own emotions, that being vulnerable isn't beneficial to you, that you will get hurt and harmed again. But as we know, over the last 2 months, Spirit has spent some time telling us and reminding us of the role that we played in all of that, right? So a little accountability in this when your ego starts chiming in. And I think that's the thing that kind of keeps you from buying into the bullshit, in all honesty. But it's going to give a good go. It's going to try. But I feel like you're at such a good energetic, like I'm feeling the strength card. Like you've tackled that lion, that beast within. And so it's more of a true. Like you hear the ego, but you don't give credence to it and you don't give it power. Because as we remember, the ego is nothing more than a fucking filter. It's a human filter. It's here to protect us. So we take the information and it is on us to use the discernment, right? Because that's wisdom, applied knowledge, knowing how to, when to, and in what capacity we apply that fucking knowledge is what wisdom is. Like that is wisdom, right? And so just remember that it will probably, with a meticulous and patient card, is like, if there's ever a moment of lull, if things don't happen in the timing of your ego, because I remember yesterday, shit was going to be happening fast and the chaos, and that your ego was going to use the chaos as a reason to be like, whoa, and you were going to pump the brake and shit like that, right? And so it was like, at this point, remember what I told you? I've told this, this is my number one thing that I tell people. The ego will throw anything at the fucking wall to see what fucking sticks. Anything that your ego projects into the future is just that. It's a fucking projection, because the ego's only point of reference is from that which has already occurred. Whether it's through your programming, through your traumas, witnessing other people's traumas, through social programming, through cultural experiences, like all of that shit, that pile that we've got, right? Like that bucket of shit that we've got, that's what it is. And when your ego starts to panic, it's going to throw any fucking thing. It's going to pump the brake because there's too much chaos. And, now we're in it, too excited. Now we're vulnerable. I'm going to keep throwing shit until you fucking listen to me. And I feel like you're not. But I think there's an awareness that Spirit is bringing to this, because they're like, hey, you're not riding through this blind as your ego tries to tell you. You've got your intuition. You just know it's different right now. You've been put back in, like you are picking up where you left off. And so the meticulous and patient is, you're going to play your cards right. You're going to make the right moves. you're not going to be impulsive, because that's what ego's hoping you'll do. You'll get riled up and you'll make a decision impulsively and you'll buy into something and solidify on it. And they're like, So whatever your mind may try to go, well, what about this? And what about this? Wait, okay? Because this is where the beauty of true wisdom comes into play. The last 3 years, what you're going to find gave you just exceptional discernment. Because when all you had was to sit with your motherfucking self this entire time, you listened to that ego. You heard every fucking cry, every story. You listened to your soul weep and long. You've experienced, you've done, you sat still, bitch, you know. That was transmutation those last 3 years. That bubble, that detour, that purge. Because when you're purging something, you re-experience every fucking thing that you're releasing. It's kind of like there's a tarot card where the fool is about to jump off a cliff, and they take one last look over their shoulder. It's like that one last look before you take the leap of faith. That's what they're showing me. So this meticulous and patient card is all about playing it right. Like you're not gonna. You used to be triggered and pushed into action or inaction by your ego so fucking quickly. And I know you know that this has occurred over the last 3 years too. Like things that you thought you had dealt with, they suddenly fucking came back and reared an ugly head. And you're like, what? It was the purge. Just like a detox. You're going to feel that shit as you release it. You're going to re-experience it to a varying degree. That gave you all the discernment you need. So when this shit show starts again, your ego's not going to easily fool you. You're going to wait for your intuition and what it says. That's where that meticulous and patient, because now you have the discernment to wield things. That's the magician energy. Woo, we said we was getting back into manifesting, bitch. You back into the magician energy because he's in motherfucking control. He wields all the energies at play within himself. He wields all of those energies. You know, the air, the water, earth, fire, like all of that shit. He wields it. So when ego starts playing its game, you're just not going to listen to it nearly as much. Spirit is really enjoying, I just have to say this, reflecting back to you, because we've had this in several of the readings, where Spirit is like, you ever like experience something as a kid and you hear the story being retold through somebody else's lens and it makes you realize things about it that you didn't before? That's what Spirit's been doing. I don't know if you've noticed this, but that's why they've gotten to 2-hour long fucking coffee and tarots when I usually should be able to get it done in 30 minutes, right? Because we've been telling stories, but we've been telling it through varying different lenses. It's almost like the same energy through all kinds of different perspectives, especially from Spirit. And it just adds a layer of understanding and discernment. It's like taking window cleaner and cleaning off that lens. Let me show you what really has been happening. And I feel like you have been listening. And that's why we're in this little story today, because they're like, let's talk about this really quick. I'm going to give you the inside scoop. Because I realize and recognize now that you don't get so easily caught up in what your mind starts to say. You are in this prime, supple space and energy for me to give you the lowdown. Let me tell you what's really going on. Because you're in this state of observance. And we brought that up in a past reading as well. You are observing. You're not, your ego doesn't have control over you. And I know you know that it didn't before. Like you thought you'd got out of that. But what you didn't realize is you were re-experiencing everything that you had in your life over the last however many years as a purge. It may have looked different. It may have looked more dramatic at times. That was because your ego played a factor in buying into some of the programming and holding on to old patterns, behaviors, lenses. And so there's a need to really, really, they had to solidify as you're about to step into this next realm. Because when people are going to be throwing shit, I don't know why I said realm, but people are going to be throwing shit your way when you no longer utilize anybody external to you as a determining factor in how you maneuver and what you do. When you no longer do that, people are going to say shit. People are going to say shit. You'll hear shit. People will respond different ways. This is just the general public at large. Doesn't even have to be necessarily your circle, because I feel like your circle's small now. Your circle is small. So not only will you not buy into what they say, because if your own ego can't trick you, neither fucking can they. It's sometimes like your ego is the megaphone for all these other motherfuckers. They said blah, 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 blah. So you're about to go, recap, you're being transported back to where you left off. Like you're going to pick up right where you left off. So remember the positive evolution and evolvement of your life at that point, where shit was on track and it was going good and it was going in the right direction and things were happening, and like the level of certainty and confidence you had in knowing what was for you and that it was for you and that would be successful, and that you were just standing solidly within your truth and you were actioning it, and you were I know at some point you were making whatever was up here, whatever you felt in the etheric, whatever you felt spiritually, whatever you dreamed of, you were bringing into reality step by step, and you were seeing little pieces of evidence of it, and you were feeling fucking good. You're getting right back there. Ego's going to chime in. It doesn't have the leverage it once had, because the last 3 years, when you re-experience everything you've already healed through, you saw ego for what it was. You were able to finally release that attachment to experiencing things as the ego experiences it. The attachment to giving any or all truth over to ego, right? And can I just say that incessant need to long, even when you felt like you didn't have anything you wanted to long for anymore because Spirit had removed everything, and even your goal, even your dream, even the path you were once on, you stopped longing for that. You were like, I don't know if this is really what I want. You still felt a longing and you didn't know what the fuck for. And in true human nature, we try to fill it with all kinds of shit. So we start taking action on a million different things, and nothing was fucking working. So then we think that longing is for our path, and then like we start thinking, and I don't feel motivated to do it, and I don't really know if I want to do it. Bitch, that was your ego the entire time. That is an ego death. it was really just a transformation, but in true human form, we get very dramatic about any change or transformation. So we are always like, I was dying. So your ego was like, I'm dying. And it threw a fucking fit. That longing was strictly just coming from your ego. Because guess what? If you're not longing for something and you're perfectly content, your ego, it's like the shadow of your ego. Your ego's like, well, what use is there for me? It wants to feel important, valid. It needs to be heard. It needs to be right. You know better. And I don't feel like you're going to ignore it, but you're just not giving it power anymore. It does not dictate your life, and that needed to stop. Your ego was holding on to all of the old patterns just in case. You know, we always talk about that muscle memory, right? Until something is like integrated at a DNA cellular level. We haven't talked about that in a long time. Probably at least 6 months. Like, that is the embodiment. And when you embody a new understanding, a new way of operating, a new coding within your being, you're no longer beholden to any of the old stuff. So that's the other thing, is that you have like completely integrated. When we say integrated, I'm talking about you have reprogrammed your existence. It's no longer a concept. It's no longer an understanding. It's no longer airy-fairy where ego can play with it. It is solidly within you. Sometimes what we call our subconscious and how we behave and operate in life is really because we have trauma in and of itself can reprogram your body, can reprogram your cells, can reprogram your DNA. Like, DNA changes. We've learned this now at times. We were like, nah, it does. Okay? And that's how we pass shit on down our bloodline, right? So you've taken the time to recode your inner being from the traumas and from all the other shit. So you know at a deep cellular level what the truth is. Doesn't mean ego or the mental realm won't still try to blah, 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 but you're just not buying into it anymore. Not the way you did before. That don't mean that new shit won't happen in the future, but when you have gone through this and you've learned the healing path, because remember, I always say healing is nothing more than learning how to fucking live. This is what we should have known how to do all along, because then we wouldn't have allowed things to get to such a severity within ourselves, to such a festering wound, that we began to operate in life from the safety of little boxes that weren't ourselves. We wouldn't feel like we had to put on masks. We wouldn't, like these, all that would have been different. We wouldn't have lived life from victimhood of you name it, any number of things. We wouldn't have been operating out of our truth. We wouldn't have been handing our power over like we were to other people. So, just so that you know, when all this happens, they want you to realize just what the fuck actually happened, guys. They want you to know and recognize it. Don't just skirt past this and go on and be like, oh, thank God, I'm finally back to blah, 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 blah. They're like, you need to, like, honor what you just went through? Do you realize the magnitude of what happened and coming out on the other side of that? Do you fucking get that? We've all had those moments in our life where we get to a place that's a point of no return. I have learned things or come into a knowing or experience things where it's like my life will never be the same. I can't ever get to a place where I unknow something. Like I unlearn it, right? Like there's just certain things where when you become aware of all of the shit that you have and how you've been operating, it's like we all reach a certain point where there's no point, what am I trying to say? I can't unknow certain things. I cannot unknow it. The mere fact that I know and understand it compels me to move forward. I can't ever go back to being under a rock and pretending like it doesn't exist, because deep within, I will always know it. People will try to cover things up, but there's always a certain point in everybody's life, something they may learn that they can't ever go back from. Like once your eyes are open to something at a certain level, like truly open, not just somebody telling you something and you're like, meh, whatever, because you all know that we've been told a million fucking times different things. And then at one point it finally fucking landed and we were like, oh shit, like we finally got it. Yeah. You finally got to a place where you couldn't unknow something. It sunk in it's like it echoed throughout your cells. That's what's happening. This is a point of no return. You're going to be operating in life with a complete different understanding than you ever really truly have before. And in a state of almost observance and awareness as you're making decisions, as you're doing things. You will have, it's almost like a knowing that if I try to do X, Y, and Z and ignore A, B, C, I already know that's not going to work. So you walking into shit knowingly then. There's just something different, guys. There's something very different about you. And that's why you can be put right back. You're going to pick up right where you left off. Because shit was about to hit the fan. Things were about to happen. Like things were already starting to happen. And Spirit was like, you can't take this shit with you. You need to be in a different energy. Hence, the next however long of a shit show that you had to go through. Okay. So let's talk about the strange place. Let's talk about this. I feel like the strange place has something to do with you no longer giving credence to something, like, oh, this couldn't happen. And they're like, that part of you that was like not believing anymore that something could happen or whatever, like it has something to do with that. Never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. Never underestimate the people that Spirit can put into your path. Never underestimate being put in the right place at the right time. Don't put a box around how Spirit can make something happen. So from this moment forward, if you feel guided to do something, if a detour happens, roll with the punches. If you feel like I was going to do this and now I want to do this, like, be in the state of allowance and go with it. If you're like, okay, I want to do this, but, and like your intuition is just like, your mind may think, why, blah, 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 and you're like, I don't know, but I want to, so I'm going to, and you go do it. Like, somehow this is going to put you in the right place at the right time, encountering the right people. And we did talk about this yesterday, as far as there's something coming in, and it's like a new contact. I remember that, a new contact. Go with what you feel. Much like Jal's reading, it's like, if you don't open that heart up and you don't allow it, your intuition, to really guide you, to feel what your body is telling you, to feel what you should be doing in the moment, you won't get those hits. You need to get into your body right now, not up here, and just allow the thoughts of the ego to kind of come through and witness them without actually attaching to them. Okay. Where are we going? We're going to pull from here really quick. It's been an hour. What time is it? It's 12. Hi, Kelsey. Hey, LP. Yeah, that's been happening over the last, I'd say, 9 months. I don't know what it is. Like, I tried really hard to fight against it, but like, it just kept happening. And at first I thought there was something wrong with the way that I was reading, or something was happening. And then, I'm just catching up. Glow's dead. Oh, thank you, Ida. I say names wrong here all the fucking time. Just letting you know. All right. So. Okay. So we're going to find out. We're going to get different scenarios how this whole thing, we're meeting someone or in a strange place, or like being at the right place at the right time, is going to play out. Let me get back down here. All right. So first and foremost, we have advice from someone creative. We've got the King of Wands. This reminds me of somebody who has their eye on someone, because it's the laser focus that comes with the King of Wands, knowing what he wants, knowing what he desires, and being in control of, or being able to wield his passions, right? And then it's being on the right path and making long-term plans. And then we have the Empress, which is giving birth to your dreams. I feel like someone is coming in that's pertinent and important to what it is that you want to do. And they're going to be able to, one, you're on the right path, but they're going to be able to help you create, like sometimes we can know we want to do something, but we're like, how do I make this come about? It feels like it's the how. I feel like it is it's the how. Oh, the person is a key player in the how. So you're no longer on that hamster wheel, getting off, and this person, or being in the right place at the right time, it introduces you to the how of things, which has probably been the question that's been on your fucking mind for the last however many years. How, for crying out loud? What am I doing wrong? Like, what do I got to do to get there? And it's like, the person, new contact, is going to play an important role on the how. Now, what that means depends on what it is that your goal is. If you're realizing I've got to get out, like I need to address, remember we were saying there's like at least 4 or 5 different things that you're like needs to be addressed in your life. And so you think the first thing you're trying to prioritize, like which one do I address first is the most pertinent. You're over here, I got to do this. And so it's like, actually the answer is over here. And so you've been wondering the how, like how do I make sure, how do I address all of this? How do I blah, 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 blah. And Spirit's like, I'm about to show you the how. That is a motherfucking first in a long ass time. Can I just say that? That is a first in a long ass time. How many times do we ask how? Ain't that why we be arguing with Spirit sometimes? And that might be the strange thing, just FYI in you. The person who has the answer, the place that is the answer, the how, he's going to get it to you in the most strangest of ways. I don't know why I said he. Oh, I guess King of Wands, that's why I said he. Well. I shit you fucking not. We got the King of Pentacles. And at the bottom, I always look at the words on this deck. It literally says, confidently accept opportunities you're offered. A successful time. This chance meeting, this chance encounter, this by chance. I mean, this is like going on a trip and realizing there's a blizzard in your path. So you're like, oh, well, let's just go on a big fucking detour. Like you're being in the flow and you're just going with it. And you end up right where you fucking need to be for whatever reason. Like you may go, oh my God, like you've been knowing you need to get out of your old town and you go on this just whatever adventure and your intentions is to end up in one place and you don't, and along the way you fucking find where you belong. You're like, oh my God, this feels like home. Holy shit, this is where I want to be. Like the how. It's like the there's going to be more to it than just that though, because it's like the answer. It makes sense now, right? Like that thing that you feel like you've known spiritually and that you've been talking about and discussing etherically and that you've been having intuitive hits and little visions of, and you're like, fucking how? Bitch, the how is coming in. Oh my God. Do I need to change the title again and be like, the how is coming in? Because fuck me. Okay. 2 of Pentacles. Sorry, the ice goes in my mouth. I mean, unless you want to watch me spit it back in, that's probably not pretty. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision, consider a more playful approach. Those are the different things. They're bringing me to the need to make a decision. Remember when you were thinking the Two of Pentacles and you're going like this, it's prioritizing, it's trying to figure out, because both are tangible paths. Both are things that may need your attention at some point, and you're having to make a decision. Like, where do I put my my attention, my energy, my focus? Which way do I go first? It doesn't mean the other isn't equally, important. It's just, what I'm saying? And so there's a sense of allow yourself to, the playful approach is also getting me, where it's like, if you just allow yourself to go there, to feel free, unencumbered by the scenario, the narrative that goes on, the ego tries to pull, right? Oh yeah. There we go. That's why they're like, just go there. If it sounds exciting, just do it. Don't listen to your body, your intuition, things are leading you. So just understand. And that's what's happening is there's going to be an opportunity offered to you. And some type of either the opportunity to lead you to this encounter, or this encounter gives you the opportunity. But you're going to have to make a decision. And you do that with your intuition. I'm gonna quit drinking because nothing but ice is coming in. You know what's funny about this? 5 of Cups. The story I'm getting with this is a little different. Because down below it says things not turning out the way you'd hoped and crying over spilled milk. And I feel like that was you the past 2 years, at least 2 years. Not everybody's been doing 3 years. And in fact, mine may have been 2 years because it was actually the end of 2020, the beginning of 2021 when the shit show happened. Anywho, and it's literally like, I'm getting a different story with this because you're finally seeing the positive in a situation. You're finally there. Like you're done, because the focus in this particular one are the 2 cups. And surrounding the 2 cups is a dolphin who is like the symbol for your intuition. And down here are the 3 cups that would have been the 3 cups that someone was staring at. And all they had to do was turn around and see the 2 cups. Like, your intuition is guiding you to the 2 cups. Like, you're seeing it. You're seeing your path forward. You're seeing you're finally seeing what's in alignment for you without this obstructing it. Because then we have, it's so weird. The World card. And we have the 5 of Wands and the 2 of Air. I want to remind you about the 2 of Air. There's definitely a decision, and they're wanting to really reiterate something here about how you make this fucking decision. The 2 of Earth, 2 of Pentacles, making a decision. Which path are you going to go? What are you going to follow? Your intuition or your ego? What are you going to do? You still have to make the choice. But with the 2 of Air, I want you to remember that in traditional, like, the swords are either crossed or they're here. Like, there's 2 options, there's 2 truths, there's 2 potentialities, and it's not something that can be made with the mind. And that's why she's got the thing on her eyes, because it's an intuitive decision. They're reiterating it. This is an intuitive one. You have to go about this intuitively. Flanking the World, which is like everything that's waiting to happen, everything that's about to open up, everything that you've been wanting, the allowance of the new cycle to come in is being flanked by the 5 of water, or the 5 of cups, and the 5 of wands, right? And the bottom of the 5 of wands is bothersome details. Don't tell me that you are so, like, there's a potential that if you do end up listening to your ego, it's going to be because you're so pissed about whatever happened over the last 2 years that you're like, it's almost like a 2-year-old's tantrum where it's like, the whole, I don't even know if I want this anymore kind of thing. You may be so angry that you had to go through that because it felt like hell for you, which any detox or any cleanse does. It's called the detox flu. Like, you feel like shit because of it. Not exactly. Like, I broke out like a motherfucker. Like, I experienced every negative side effect you could. Because to a certain degree, when you know what I mean? Like, to get rid of everything, you kind of have to. Like, that's just a part of the, you know what I mean? Part of the process. And you're almost so fucking pissed. Someone here needs this message. Don't allow... Don't allow your ego to convince you that you don't want this anymore. And the area that I think it'll win, remember, it's going to try to, like, remember the shit you've already been through, it's going to try to rehash that. It's going to try to remind you, and it's going to try to say, you deserved better than what you were put through. Even if that path opens back up to you, don't fucking do it. Don't go down that path. That's why Spirit's like, you want to know what really happened? Let me tell you what the fuck just happened. That's why we just had this little conversation. That's why they gave all that backstory. Because your ego going to try to convince you. And it's going to have a very compelling argument. Now you know the truth. Now you know the truth about what the fuck just actually happened. And even if you deeply wish it could have occurred or transpired or whatever else in a different way so that you could still get to the same end goal, I want you to remember something. Spirit led up to this point, giving you everything that you argued with Spirit on and everything you got angry about in your life and about your circumstance, about your situation. Spirit has had a reading on. Let's have a conversation about that. And they have given you all the bits and pieces of information. And let's not forget, when you sit there and be like, couldn't have gone a different way. Yeah. It's not what happens to us. It's how we deal with what happens to us. We had utter and complete control over how we reacted to the process. We could have surrendered instead of fight. When I'm purging and going through a cleanse, I can be like, this is too much, and go back in there and get sugar and then try to do it again later. And then I can go back in there, anything to make me feel better, or I could lay my fucking ass down, get the rest and the sleep that I need. Allow myself to go through the process, not to judge myself when I look like a fucking pizza face. I can do it all. I could do that. Did I play a factor in how this played out? Just a reminder. Just a reminder, when your ego wants to play this little game of, bitch, are you kidding me? After all you fucking went through and it could have been done differently, why the fuck would you go back to that path? What, so some shit can happen again? Well, I believe Spirit just spilled some tea for you that you can't unknow now. So let's see how well ego does in playing that fucking card, okay? Let's just see. You know? Because I have a feeling you're going to think about this. And you're going to look at the option ahead of you. It's very sneaky like that. It's getting ahead of ego. It already knows the cards that motherfucker's going to play. Shit, Spirit's been having to listen to that for the last however many years from you. It's literally like ego gave its playbook to Spirit. It's like Spirit allowed ego to just fucking keep talking. Don't we always talk about that? Like you ever want to catch somebody in something, just let them keep talking. Just let them. Really? Is that what it is? And your spirit team's over here just like, gotcha. Oh, I know. That was terrible, wasn't it? What the fuck? And here Spirit comes. I swear to God, I'm getting chills. Spirit's like, let me tell you what's about to fucking happen. And I think this is going to play a factor in you being able to sit back and watch that shit like you're in observance. You're going to sit back and fucking, oh my God. Spirit said that would happen, and Spirit said you would play that card. And Spirit said you're going to have an aha moment in the midst of all of that allows you to be in control, that allows you to wield your energies, that puts you firmly in your magician energy. Well played, Spirit. Well fucking played. Okie dokie. Got it. Alrighty then. Wow. I just heard. Oh my God. Spirit just said, how's that for meticulous and patient? That's a mic drop moment. Spirit's like, that's how you do meticulous and patient. All right. Okay. What time is it? 12:21. 12:21. Well, I can see you, Manishka. I don't really know. I see all of yours. It might have just been on your end. It might have been doing some weird shit. I don't know. LP, can I just tell you, I should hire you to write my summaries for like my YouTube videos, because that's really well said. Like, my happy ass can't do that. The reading began by retrospectively understanding certain experiences and lessons. Bitch, what? Learning boundaries and awareness with ego. What the fuck? Why can't I be so eloquent? Like, I'm jealous right now. Damn. Right, Kelsey? Thank you for the summary. What the fuck? Oh, he's gone. 9 LP shit. Oh, wait, what? Okay. What is this, Spirit? All right, let's make this applicable, and then we'll wrap this up. I want to know more about how we're going to get into this strange place. I have no, like, okay, what is this cunning? What's that got to do with the story? Maybe. So I get this cunning type of energy, this very like, like someone's taking a very smart approach. Somebody's being very, okay, I get that, but you gave me this. So I was clarifying the stork card. They gave me the child card. It means the same fucking thing. Okay. Fox. Like, okay. Okay. How? What's that got to do with that, though? Why are we using that? I've never had the. Okay. I've never. I feel like the fox is representing the like this like spirit being like, you like how I played that card, like you know when I'm talking about somebody being cunning on my, and I was like, well played, spirit. You know, that patient and meticulous energy where they're like, I'm getting ahead of the ego and I'm gonna do all this shit, and so I'm getting that from this. Like, don't underestimate spirit is what I'm hearing. Don't underestimate your spiritual team. Don't underestimate, you know, your guides. Like, don't underestimate the universe. The way that they're going to bring something where it's like in the strangest of ways, you know, meeting someone that you never would have suspected in an unsuspecting place. It's like being in the right place at the right time, all that kind of energy. That's what this is. That's that cunningness. That's why they were giving me very cunning. Like the way that this is going to pan out is like you didn't even see the shit that spirit was playing and why they were playing the cards they were doing this whole time during when you was hooping and hollering at them. And now you get it. You're like, oh, okay. And so it's like, don't underestimate me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. And I'm like over here going, well, what does this exactly mean? Like something's going to be brought to light. Something is going to be brought forth. Like I feel like you're going to be recognized. There's going to be some kind of attraction to you. Because we got the moon card, which is also like in the Lenormand, it's like the fame, like getting the recognition, eyes being on you kind of thing. And then of course, the sun card, something being illuminated. Like, it's like you're going to be illuminated. A path, something's coming to light, something's being brought forth, like it's going to be successful. And we have a stork card, which is all about new beginnings, and like something coming your direction. It's closing the gap, right? Then we have this person, the masculine, which has shown up a couple of times in various different ways. And then we've got this, which is new love. And then this. And whenever I have two birds, it is both communication. So like, this is almost like, it's this energy of, and can I also say that the first thing that I got from this was, you know, when you're talking about divine counterparts, they use the sun and the moon analogy. Whether it's a soulmate or anything else like that, because that's or when two opposites come together. They even use that analogy for twin flames sometimes. Like there's a counterpart energy, because one is a masculine energy, the other one's considered a feminine energy. It's the two coming together. And the same could be said about the birds. While this is chatter, information, conversations, talking, that kind of thing, two birds, they're usually together for a lifetime. Like it reminds me of the blue jays that I constantly see. Like that always reminds me of soul level type of connections. It's like this new love coming in, like there's some kind of new love. Like spirit's like, did you really think that I was just going to tell you the way this was going to happen and everything else like that? That's what this cunningness is. That's what the fox is. It's like spirit is the fox, and spirit's like, you just have no clue. This meeting someone strange in a strange place and everything else like that, someone you don't really know, it's like an unsuspecting scenario of events that occur that get you to here. Did you really think I was going to tell you everything so you could overthink something? Oh, how cute. Ego thought they had spirit figured out. How cute. No, bitch. There's this is coming in. This masculine is coming in. It's being brought in. It's a brand new beginning. It's almost like being the gap is being closed between the two. These counterparts are coming together. That's for someone. And Spirit's like, I'm not giving everything away. When you're asking about strange person and strangest places, I'm not fucking telling you. I just showed you how amazing I can make things happen. I just got ahead of the curve with fucking ego. I did this shit on purpose, but not for the same reason that ego is trying to feed you. And so it's almost as if it's like, just follow your intuition. Don't listen to your ego. Follow your fucking intuition. Let things play out. Yes, more. Okay, first and foremost, the over highlight is there's a concern, right? Always. It's the ego, we know. We're very familiar with this bitch at this point. And there's a journey card, which is all about closing that gap. It's getting to somewhere. But I have been feeling here recently, absolutely, there's going to be some type of travel or move that's going to make a great impact. And it's something that almost scares you a little bit. But it takes you to what you desire. So tell us about picking up right where we left off. We were back. So Spirit's going to gift you with the pathway forward, the how. It's like a new path. It's just, it's not, what wasn't open to you before is now. I don't know what to ask Spirit. What do you want to say in regards to this? Should we ask for anything more? Is there something more detailed that you want to give? Because I know not everybody's scenario is a love, but if you're going to sit here and be like, I'm not telling you exactly the how, because that's going to be, let's talk about this gift. And I feel like they're like, I'm not telling you everything. I'm fucking that stupid. Give ego the upper hand? I don't think so. Okay. Wow. Whatever this is going to get you where the fuck you need to go. Like, because also it came out again. Gift and the journey. Gift and the journey card came out again. The journey card is like that, like the chariot, finally the forward fucking movement. It's getting there. Spirit's almost like taking you. This gift, which was the path, remember? So they're giving you the path to get you there. To get you there. And you don't gotta motherfucking worry, because this shit's not gonna pass you by this time. You will not miss out on it. We have the privileged lady. Good God. I know when I'm hitting on something because my nose starts to go crazy for no reason. With the thief card being that where like I always account it. The first thing that comes to mind is a missed opportunity, because you always got somebody who is distracting somebody, and then it's like this stealing time. Like, and when you steal time, you kind of like take the opportunity for something, like the opportunity for something, or the time for that passes you by because you were distracted with something else. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying? Something gets taken from you, in one way or the other, whether it's your fault or not. It's like, so it's a missed opportunity, in my opinion. Privileged lady is all about exceptional luck, things going your way so easily. I want to say that this means they're giving you the path and the way forward to get you there, and there's no missing this. Like, you're going to get there. Like, this is going to happen. You don't have to worry about missing this. Damn. Your wish, your dream, that thing that you just got, you're picking right back up where you left off of, you're getting it. Again, the ego is going to try to tell you, no, you're not. You are. You're getting it. Don't fucking be worried. You have a different kind of worry now where you're like, it's like before your worries may have been what people will think, what people will do. You know, when you go down this path and they're like, now your worries are around, is this just a joke? Is it never really going to happen? Am I being stupid? Is this really not for me? Is it just going to be taken away again? Like, that's your fears now. You don't even give a fuck about all this piddly little shit that you were afraid of before. Other people's opinions, how you looked. You don't fucking care. You just don't want your dream taken from you. But it's not going to be taken. This one came out first. Sudden wealth. This is like exceptional luck. We've got the 777 right next to the lucky lady. Shit just goes your way. This is, remember when I said you were in the energy of like shit happening for you and you were able to manifest and things were just going, like you felt really good and then you were just pulled the fuck out of that. Like, what the fuck? It's like you're being put right back into that. Like, you're hitting the jackpot. It's just going to go exceptionally well. This shit, this lack, it's no more. It is no more. It's just no more. What is the new? What do you want to say? I feel like that's not done. Oh, your new start is really close by. So this is like a full card, okay? Sometimes it's actual child, but a lot of times it's just that newness, right? It is that childlike wonder. It is a new beginning. And then we've got the family room, which is all about, it's one of the major timing cards in this deck. It is exceptionally soon, imminent, close by. Okay. I have a level of trust right now after this reading when Spirit says, I don't know if you're experiencing this, but when Spirit says, I got this, like to sit there and watch how masterfully Spirit just outplayed the ego. And when I say Spirit, it just might be your higher self. Your higher self knew what the fuck ego was going to try to pull and was like, oh, I'm 10 steps ahead of you. So if you feel like Spirit was angry with you for you going through the shit show that you did and being angry with them and spilling all the beans and laying all the cards out, they weren't mad at all. Granted, you might have been able to go a little bit faster with shit, but everybody's got their own process. And the sincerity and purity of coming out of it the other side is what matters. You couldn't fake your way to be like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, I won't do that again. You couldn't fake your way to that. You really had to purge. Okay? Okay. I just feel like that's all they want to say. I hope people understand. Oh, y'all are talking. I love it when y'all just have your conversation. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to hop off here. I hope everybody was able to benefit from that. That was very insightful, actually. Like, I felt that was very insightful. I might have to watch my own reading again, which feels really egotistical, but but I'm like, oh, I need to get to that, because when you're in there, you lose pieces of it. Like, I don't remember exactly what I said, and so I need to go back. So, all right, guys, I hope y'all have a fantastic and wonderful day. Not sure if it'll be this weekend or if it'll be Monday before I come back on, but as always, you will have a fantastic rest of your day. Okay.